All right, now we're doing 7Q odd even string sort. This is by Jaws, and 92% of people like it. Given a string S, we have to return another string such that even indexed and odd indexed characters of S are grouped and groups are space separated. So basically, we want to do this. We want to take the evens, put them first, separated by a space, put the odd indexes, the elements at the odd indexes there, right? So to do this, we're going to come over here, take care of all this first, and we're going to declare some variables. So we're going to say let odd equal an empty string, and we're also going to let even equal an empty string, right? Because we're going to add the letters to these strings, right? So now we're going to say for with a for loop, and we're going to let index equals 0, and while index is less than, and let's turn this into a lowercase s just so we don't have to hit shift all the time. If s is equal to, if index is equal to s dot length, we're going to say index plus plus, okay? That way we just iterate through the s, which is this. We're just going to iterate through letter by letter. And when we do that, we're going to say if, let's say index, if the current index divided by 2 has a remainder, so if index remainder operator 2 has a remainder, or is true, I should say, we're going to say, what are we going to say? Odd plus equals s at the current index, all right? And if not, we're going to say even plus equals s at the current index, all right? And after that's all said and done, we're going to go down here and say return even, because they want the even first. It says it right there anyway. Even plus a string with a space in it, and then plus odd. And that should take care of it. Let's see what happens. And it does. Let's attempt it. 2 milliseconds right here. It's going to be real hard to beat. Let's see if this one-liner can beat it. We're going to go over here and say const sort my strings. I'm going to say equals. Take care of this. We're going to get the rest of this stuff out of here. All right. And for this one, we're going to have to change this s into an array real quick. So we're going to use this split method that takes a pattern and divides a string into an ordered list of substrings by searching for the pattern, putting the substrings into an array, and returning the array. Right? And we're going to search for the spaces in between characters, like that. So we're going to say s.split, search for the spaces in between characters. Whoops, that's not how we do it. Just like that. All right, now we're going to use the reduce method. And the reduce method executes a user-supplied reducer callback function on each element of the array in order, passing in the return value from the calculation on the preceding element. The final result of running the reducer across all elements of the array is a single value. And here's something that's important too. The first time that a callback is run, there is no return value of the previous calculation. So if supplied, an initial value may be used in its place. And we're going to use an initial value. It's going to be a special one too. And also, let me go down here. Here's the syntax we're going to be using right here. The one with the previous value, current value, and the current index. And we're also going to say comma initial value as well. So let's do that. Let's declare these, let's put these parameters in. We're going to say previous, current, and the current index. All right. And then we're also going to have this, we're going to have an initial value. And just like before, how we have the evens and odds as initial values with empty strings, that's what we're going to do here. We're going to say empty string, and then we're going to say empty string. So the evens are going to go in here, the odds are going to go in here. All right, now let's make the function to do that. So to do that, we're going to use the ternary operator. And the ternary operator is the only JavaScript operator that takes 3 operands, a condition followed by a question mark, then an expression to execute if the condition is truthy followed by a colon, and finally the expression to execute if the condition is falsy. This operator is frequently used as an alternative to the if-else statement. And as we did on the longer one, we're using it in if-else on this. So first things first, let's make an array. Actually, first things first, let's do the condition. So the condition is if index divided by 2 has a remainder. There's the thing. If that's the case, we're going to say, let's do an empty array right there. And in the first spot, we're going to put the evens. So we're going to put prev at index 0, because it's going to be looking at this. And the previous at index 0 will be nothing. In the first case at least. And then we're going to say prev at index 1 plus current index, cur, just like that. Plus at the cur, current element. You know what I mean. All right, so that's the first thing, and then we're just going to do the opposite for the next one. So just take this, push space right here. Remember, this one is to separate this one. Sometimes I forget myself. So we're going to make another comma here, drop this right there, and let's change this to plus. We can just bring the plus cur on over here, okay? And that's basically what it needs to look like. All right, let's bring this together. So now we've got all this, and I'm going to bring this down just one more time just so we can see. Now we're going to have to join it back together, and we're going to use the dot join. We're going to use the join method, which creates and returns a new string by concatenating all of the elements in an array or an array-like object separated by commas or a specified separator string. If the array has only one item, then that item will be returned without using a separator. And we're going to join it not by the spaces in between characters, but let's do it just a space. And instead of fire, air, water, we're going to get fire, space, air, space, water. All right? So we're going to say dot join, and then a space right there. Let's see if it works. Doesn't work. What's the prob, Rob? All right. Oh yeah. Don't forget, this needs to be this colon needs to be a question mark. Okay, cool. All right. Now we got a problem. All right. Ah, yes. And this comma needs to be a colon. I'm just messing up today, aren't I? All right, cool, awesome. And look at this, 4 milliseconds. It doesn't even matter. We're not even going to use this. We're going back to here, right here, and we're just going to say attempt it again. Looks good. 3 milliseconds still wins. Submit it. Very much like this one. Let's go to My Solutions. Just me on this one. Best practice in my opinion. And we'll see you next time.